Magical Dynasty. 1900 metres, they dispatched from the 1900, and Sandtrip almost came down when the starters hit go, picked. So to give them a chance to settle down for a leader, Ravishing Stars there. Sandtrip is now moving up to be among the leading group. Miss Esmeralda's there, and Lady Arrow near the rail is also well positioned, and Just a Flasher with the green blinkers among the leading division. Black Dynamite is on the move with the green sleeves and the yellow cap. On the outside of that, Viva Lorraine, and then comes Storm Coast. Wimmerware is further back in the field with Isolite, and Magical Dynasty is one of the trailers, and that's racing about 7-8 lengths off the leader. Sandtrip is dictating her own pace, and she leads it by a length and a quarter. Just a Flasher back second with the green blinkers. Miss Esmeralda's at the rail in the blue, and Black Dynamite's around them wide out. That's racing about 3 or 4 lengths off the leader and being niggled at. Then Lady Arrow, Ravishing Star. Black Dynamite getting a good few reminders to stay in touch. They're followed by Storm Coast, Viva Lorraine. Wimmerware is further back in the field. That's about 7 lengths off the leader. Then Isolite, and Magical Dynasty continues to wait, 8 lengths off the leader. They're spinning to the home stretch, and Sandtrip continuing to lead it. Just a Flasher is second. Miss Esmeralda in the blue is third. Ravishing Star on the outside, then Black Dynamite. On the inside of that, Lady Arrow. Magical Dynasty still got about 7 or 8 lengths to make up at the 400. Sandtrip the leader. Just a Flasher throws out the challenge. Down the inside, Wimmerware. Magical Dynasty's down the inside, and Storm Coast is also running on. Sandtrip, Just a Flasher is going to come around to put in a claim. Storm Coast, Magical Dynasty. It's still Sandtrip the leader. Wimmerware is running on now, and it's Sandtrip digging down the last 100. Sandtrip, Wimmerware, Magical Dynasty, but Sandtrip's going to win it. Sandtrip won by a length and a quarter. Wimmerware and Magical Dynasty involved in a photo with Isolite, also involved in another photo with Viva Lorraine. Winner here is number 1, Sandtrip. This one, Anton Marcus Charles led the filly by Trippy for the Youngsters, ends up winning a length and a half. If I recall correctly, when I called this race last time, Sandtrip, the pace was an absolute crawl, which certainly didn't suit her, and she was also hanging out. And on this occasion, she clipped or picked when the stall gates open, and Anton almost came off. She also almost went down on the knees, but she's victorious. She set her own fractions. Second to number 6, Wimmerware. Magical Dynasty will run into third. Viva Lorraine fourth. Then Just a Flasher, Isolite. They are followed further back by Ravishing Star, Storm Coast. Black Dynamite was wide out. Then Lady Arrow, Miss Esmeralda. We take a look at that head-on, and Sandtrip continues to go, and this is her 5th time at the track. She went to the front shortly after the start after pecking, and Sandtrip continues to find. Wimmerware with the yellow sleeves staying on. Just a Flasher, Magical Dynasty plodded the last 200 metres, but victory for number 1 Sandtrip, a time of 115,99. Until the running of race number 4, which will start of our jackpot, back to the studio.
Welcome back to the winners area here. Number 1, Sandtrip, the daughter of Trippy. She just seemed to trip out the gates almost.
Yeah, she picked. But fortunately, I managed to get her out there. 9 out of 10 times when they get left, the biggest mistake we make is chasing them. But I was prepared to take my chances with her today.
She ended up getting to the front and then down the lane. She just wants to hang right out.
Yeah, she hangs terribly. She's done it 1 or 2 starts. But she got away with it, We've been quite hard on her. I'm sure Charles will give her a bit of a break. You never know, she might come back and be okay with a bit of ground at a later stage.
Looking at your rides to come, a horse like Nanajet, she's got a bit of a reputation. And how's Priyana doing?
She surprised me last time. I'm actually of the opinion that she's pretty ordinary. But within saying that, she took me by surprise. So I'm going to ride her the same way. Going to drop her out, ride her for a bit of luck. And either the gaps are going to come or they aren't.
And a horse like Nanajet, she looks to bounce back?
I took the ride based more on reputation. I've never sat in her back, but she's always had a reputation. So in that field, I thought it was a good gamble to take.
Well done with this ride.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Well done to jockey Anton Marcus, heard out the gates there. She stumbled, picked in that, recovered and hanging all the way down the lane. But Anton Marcus, he kept up the task. And number 1, Sand Trip, the daughter of Trippy for the Charles Laird stable, she stayed on for the victory.